Um, well, a lot of things brought me here. I think one of the biggest things that brought me here was I fell into a really deep depression, and I was having issues with psychosis and psychotic episodes. And those episodes drove me to the point where I was so depressed that I was really seriously thinking about taking my own life. And um, that's what brought me here to Salt Lake Behavioral. Um, I didn't move or eat for about 3 days. I only got up to go to the bathroom, and that was about it. I didn't go to work, and finally my grandma, who I was living with at the time, she said that you need to go to the hospital. And my mom came over and picked me up and took me to the hospital, and I stayed there for a while, and then they took me here. Honestly, I've been in and out of psych wards since I was 16 years old. And Salt Lake Behavioral is the best facility that I've been in. My stay here was very educational, but at the same time, all of the staff, they were very compassionate and very caring about my situation, and especially the therapists. They were really great at recognizing my situation and recognizing what I was going through and really helping the stay be more bearable. Just the way that they treated me, obviously they're trained to watch behavior, so as they were just watching what was going on, they would say some comforting things, or they would come up to you and ask you how you were doing. And there was a moment where we were actually moving to the acute ward, and with more of the more serious patients, and I was very anxious. I was pacing back and forth, and they recognized this, and they just asked me what was going on, and I told them that I was just anxious about going to a more serious ward, because I didn't know if some of them were violent, if they would attack me and I'd have to defend myself. And that's just kind of part of my diagnosis, is that I do get a lot of paranoia about people possibly attacking me, because as a young kid, I was assaulted a lot, and even being an adult today, it still affects me quite a bit. The groups were all right. I thought here at Salt Lake Behavioral they were a little more educational than other facilities, and I thought that they were more fun. Like, we had music therapy where you get to pick a song, and one of my favorite artists is Eminem, and I got to pick a song by him, which technically is probably not a, what's the word? Probably not an okay song to play around other people, I guess I would say. But she let me play it anyway. So I just thought that that was cool, that you were able to express yourself through music without having repercussions or being told, no, you can't share that, which I've been told before that you can't do that in other facilities. So I thought the groups were, like I said, more educational. Yeah, I thought I learned a lot more here at Salt Lake Behavioral than I have in other facilities.
And after you were inpatient, you did the outpatient program as well?
Yeah, IOP, I did the intensive outpatient program with Jason as my therapist, and that's where I really started to learn a lot. Learned a lot about how to deal with stress, how to cope with stress, and, you know, techniques for anxiety, you know, techniques for when you fall into a depression. Just I learned a whole bunch of stuff in IOP, and yeah, the education that I got from IOP has really helped me in the long run. It's made it so I haven't come back to any facility, really. Like, if I had to choose, if I had, you know, to come back to anywhere, I would probably choose Salt Lake Behavioral, just because of the way they treated me and everything that I learned while I was here. Before learning the things from IOP, I would just kind of bury and suppress my emotions. And someone told me a long time ago that, you know, emotions are like a spray can, you know, and the more pressure that builds up, eventually it will explode. And so I just remember that when I start to suppress my emotions, and I'm more open, I share more how I'm feeling, and in the long run that helps me build better relationships with my family and with friends, especially with my mother. Our relationship is a lot better. My father, our relationship is a lot better now than even before I came to Salt Lake Behavioral. My relationship with my father wasn't all too great. But now we have a strong relationship, and I'm very happy for that. And just overall, my family, grandmas, grandpas, my mom, my father, even my brother and sister, our relationship, they're a lot better now than they've ever been. And that's because I've been able to utilize the skills that I learned here and in IOP to work on building better relationships, because I feel like you really need a strong support system when you get out. And without that support system, it's most likely that you'll be back. I feel like because of everything I learned here, educational-wise, and the way that I was treated, it helped me realize in myself that I have a lot to offer, that I don't have to feel like my only way out is suicide, and that, you know, I really have, you know, everybody has a profound impact on others, despite whether or not they realize it or not. And my growth as a person is I've just realized that I have a lot more to offer to my family, to my friends. And I've grown as a person because I've learned to know myself more and to find myself. And while I was here, that's when I really started to find out who I was as a person. Did I feel safe? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did. I felt safe. I mean, you know, when you've got guys that are, a lot of the nurses that I was around, they're like 6'8", you know, 240 pounds, you know, just really big people. You know, yeah, for sure I felt safe. There was one moment where I felt like there was a moment when there was another patient that was threatening, you know, one of the nurses, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. And, you know, I just had an outburst, and I asked if I could go to my room, and the staff came to me, and they were like, okay, you can go to your room, go calm down. Well, and they, you know, kind of watched me and made sure that I was safe, and made sure that, you know, the other patients were safe as well. I think safety is a very big priority for the staff here. So yeah, I felt very safe. Yeah. The staff values, I feel like they did have integrity. They were very compassionate. They were very, you could tell that they had a lot of passion for what they do. They want to help others. Especially, I think, in a mental facility, there's a lot of stigma. It's not like going to the hospital to get stitches or anything like that. You know, there's still a stigma about mental illness altogether. And I feel like the staff here is honestly the best staff I've ever been around. I'm going to continue to work on myself as a person and continue to grow. It's taken me a long time, but I've decided that I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to start sometime soon and just keep myself busy, keep, growing as an individual and figuring out what I want to do with my life. And I actually want to go into the field where I can also help others, because that's where I get my enjoyment from, is being able to help others. And since I've been out, I've had all this time to really think about what it is that I want to do. And I've come to the conclusion that I know what I want to do. And it's going to take time to get there, but I'll get there eventually, and I'll be happy when it's done. I'm happy now, but it's good to have goals. I feel like that's important when you get out, is to have goals set for yourself, even if they're daily goals, like I took a shower today, just something small like that. But I feel like that's really important when you get out, is to have goals. And that'll kind of keep you from coming back. I think a really big thing there, how I'm feeling after treatment, is that I'm not having psychotic episodes anymore. The medication I take kind of helps with that a lot, actually, and keeps me level-headed and keeps me from doing things that I shouldn't be doing. And I think part of my depression my whole life is that I've felt like a burden to my family, because since I was 15 years old, I've been doing things I shouldn't be doing. So, I just feel like everything I learned here, on top of me making a decision, I had to decide whether or not I wanted to change. And I chose to change, so I did everything within my power while I was here, and I'm doing everything within my power while I'm out, to change and better myself. And because of this, I am happy. I'm happy with my decision. I'm happy with the way life is going for me. And, I think a friend of mine told me something a long time ago. He said, happiness is a choice, not a state of being. And I believe that. You have to choose to be happy, even though it might be difficult some days because you're depressed. And everything might just be, kind of dark and gloomy. But you can always choose, to be happy. And that's what I'm choosing now. So, well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I hope that, maybe my story can help others, and they can decide that they need the help, and that, it doesn't make you weak getting help. It actually makes you stronger. So I guess I'll just leave with that.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.